Like I was saying, for a person like me, my situation, when it comes on to like understanding how women perceive me, I've came to the realization that I've been completely disregarded for the simple fact that I am not popular when it comes on to other women. And the thing is that I've put myself out there. I haven't been so reclusive when it comes on to interacting with females. But when I did make attempts to talk to women and I took myself out of my comfort zone and tried to initiate some type of conversation with them, they automatically put a barrier in a wall in front of them as if to say, you're not worthy of my time. You're not worthy of of my energy. And it's almost as if they've created a a picture of who you are, who they perceive you to be in their head, and you don't fit that picture of who they perceive you to be in their head, they automatically cast you out. They will label you as a creep, a weirdo, a socially awkward. They would say things of that nature, or man, this dude is lame. I don't know why he came up to me to talk to me. He don't have any game. And like I said, if you don't have those the stereotypical type of approach, how a black man will go up to a woman and he will talk to her in a certain type of way, which is like very seductive, and he will speak dirty to her. If you don't have that stereotypical approach of a black man, if you just regularly go up to her and just speak the way you normally speak, she will completely dismiss you. Because in her mind, she thinks that a man of substance is someone who is more of like a player type of man. And a man could be cheating, a man could be a man could be leading a woman on and completely dismiss her after he gets what he wants, and she completely turns that emotional pain that she experienced and place the blame on all men and said there are no good men. But when you as a good man go up to her and approach her, she dismisses you because you don't fit into that stereotype of what she wants in a black man. So it's like the it's just they're just women are just living walking contradictions, because they won't accept you for who you are. But then if you fit the stereotype of what they want you to become, which is a man who will cheat on a woman, a man who is not honest, a man who lies, a man who is disingenuous with who he is, that is considered attractive to women. That is normally considered that is normally what is considered attractive to women, because a woman like a guy who keeps her on her toes, and it's not even the good type of behavior that she likes in a guy. It's a guy who at any moment can just snap, like physically harm her, physically, you know like put her life in danger, threaten her, have weapons, have knives, guns. Like a man who is always on the edge is what's considered exciting to these females. Now, if you just a regular 9 to 5, I'm not just saying you have to work a 9 to 5, but in that sense, if you're a regular 9 to 5 type of man who just go to your work and do what you have to do, you don't start trouble. You mind your own business. You just stay in your own lane. If you're that type of man who are just doing everything you can to just get through the day, and you try to establish some type of connection with these women, it will meet the initial stages where they will talk to you, but eventually they will get bored. That's a fact. Eventually, you're not considered exciting anymore, and they will give you this whole lame thing of, I have lost interest, or I think I don't feel this going anywhere, because you're not pushing their buttons, because a woman is a agent of chaos. I'll give the credit to Chronicles of Judah with that one, with that phrase. But that completely is true. A woman is an agent of chaos. If you're the type of man that likes to do dangerous stuff, where it places your life and others at risk, a woman find that to be exciting. I've heard so many news of women end up being killed with a man that end up just spazzing out on her or her loved ones. And you see the same story come up over and over again. This is a pattern. When you start seeing a pattern that happens over and over again, then you know it's not a coincidence. It's systemic by nature. Because when you see that pattern, it's telling you a story. It's saying that these are who these women like. These are who these women desire. And in that sense, it's like, okay, the female nature is attracted to a man who is unpredictable, a man who is always on the edge, who's one moment from just spazzing out on her or somebody else's. And there's a lot of men who have, for the better word of themselves, trying to act all manly, try to impress a female, for the simple fact that a woman like a man who likes to boast and brag about who he is as a man, and fighting and committing crimes and doing all these things don't prove your manhood. It just shows how easily manipulated you are. And as for me, I am not a person to be so easily manipulated by society. And if you're the type of man that just have a mindset of who you are and what you want to become in life, you're not gonna be easily manipulated by a woman. And once a woman sees that you're not so easily manipulated, then she completely loses interest in you. Because a woman like a man, she can manipulate. Like she could hold on a string, and she can cause him to act out of character, and that's considered exciting for her. And that's typically how women think and how they operate. So for me, in that sense, I don't act out of character. I'm very level-headed, and I just focus on what I have, what purpose I have in front of me, what goals I have in front of me, and I just make sure that I go after what I have to go after. And that's considered a threat to these women, because a woman like a guy that she can control, and if she knows that she can't control you and not easily to manipulate, then she obviously gonna reject you for that reason. And women are very insecure. They don't like a man that make her feel worse than who she is. So if she gets with a thug and a lame ass negro and a guy that doesn't have anything going for himself, it makes her feel empowered, because she's like, oh, I'm better than this guy. He's lower than me in terms of value, and he's not bringing anything to the table. Pretty much, he's just doing things that are not really worth anything. But if she comes across a guy that has his head on his shoulders, that knows what his purpose is, and is just clear set in his mind of what he wants to do, she's drawn back by that. She kind of like retreat from that, because she sees you as a threat. Because she know if you decide that you want to move on from the relationship, she can't hold you back, and she can't kick you out, because you're gonna have your own place, you're gonna have your own money, and you're gonna have your own resources. So you could have the opportunity to just leave whenever you want. But for her, she wants a guy that she can control and she can manipulate, and a guy that will be dependent on her, because that just inflates our own ego and make her feel a sense of empowerment as a woman. And that's how the women view the whole dynamic of the relationship when it comes on to men. It's like, can I manipulate this man and lead him on and control his whole behavior? And that's why men who fall into this domestic dispute thing, it's like, is it worth it as a man for you to fall into this dispute? Because domestic dispute, because a lot of women will lie on a man and said that he physically harmed her when he didn't. And a lot of times, most, if not all the time, a woman is the one that initiate the domestic dispute. She will verbally assault the man, physically assault the man, and you have a lot of women out there that are physically abusing men and claiming that the man started it when he didn't. And when they call the cops on this man, he ends up getting sent to prison. A lot of men lives have been destroyed by the lies that women have fabricated about them. And so for me, I've kept this I've had this mindset where I would never allow a woman to dictate my life. And I would never fall into the trap of trying to prove my manhood to somebody else. Because in certain scenarios, a woman will set up a stage where she will want you to protect her honor by fighting some other dude that you do not know. It's just some piece of ass where typically that shit don't mean anything because after you get it, you're done. You just want to forget about it. But a woman will want you to protect her honor, and that means end up killing somebody, or the person killing you, or the police get involved. I mean, is it all that stuff is not worth it? There's a lot of men that are in prison or dead for fighting over the honor of another woman. And after they get locked up or they're dead, this woman that they were messing with move on and hop on to the next man. And so that's why I feel so good that I've stepped outside the box and I've never allowed society to dictate who I am as a man, because I know that if I was a stereotypical black man that fall into the line of a guy that is a sucker and a simp and is will do anything for a woman, I would most likely end up in prison or dead. Or something would have happened, or divorced, or have to pay child support. It's like all these things that happen is because a man is trying to seek the validation and approval of a woman, where he is doing the things that this woman want him to do in order for him to get some type of like treatment or love from this female. And me, I don't need no validation. I don't need to seek the validation from a woman because I feel good within myself as a man, and I know that what really makes the difference is how you see yourself and not how others see you. And so that's the way I've been looking at it, and that's the way I've been carrying myself. So yeah, when you don't fit into that mold that society wants you to fit in, you're gonna be casted out. You're gonna be stereotyped out, and women are gonna label you as weird, creepy, lame, weak, strange. They're gonna come up with all these labels. But when I look at the bigger picture, it's like it's their loss, not mine. Because now at the same time, they're gonna end up with some other dude that is gonna be abusive and mistreat them, and that's exciting. That's considered, women are agents of chaos. So that's considered exciting for them to be in a relationship like that. That's chaotic. So, and when she ends up getting killed by this man, then they want to blame good man for that, and the cycle just repeats itself. So I'm gonna wrap this video up pretty soon, and I'm just gonna say, there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with stepping outside the box. There's nothing wrong with challenging societal norms. And as for me, I will constantly challenge societal norms because society doesn't dictate who you shouldn't dictate who you are as a man. Society shouldn't say, in order to be a man, you have to be like this person. You have to be like that person. You have to have this. You have to have that. Because those things don't define you as a man.